What's up, guys? Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we are talking the XFL scrimmage recap of the Dallas Renegades versus the St. Louis BattleHawks. This game took place again on Monday and was one of the 4 preseason games that's taken place right before the final roster cuts on Wednesday, trimming every team down to 52 players. So this game was very important for a lot of players to, finally go out there and just show their coaches and their general managers, one last chance to try to prove that they should have a final spot on these teams. But from a fantasy angle, there's still some things that we're trying to determine from, who's going to be end up being the starter for, a lot of pivotal roles. A lot of teams still with a quarterback controversy going into this game, including St. Louis. Final score in this one, Dallas ended up edging out St. Louis in overtime, winning 25-22. So, pretty close game that led to an overtime in scrimmage. That's pretty fun that they got a chance to try out the new overtime rules. Now, what's interesting is we don't necessarily have a full list of stats, but we do have some pieces of information to go off of. So why don't we start by looking at the winning team, the Dallas Renegades. Now, obviously, we're still dealing with the injury to Landry Jones, so we were hoping that Philip Nelson would be able to step up and deliver, and today it looks like he did. Ended up having a nice touchdown throw to Jazz Ferguson, and overall had a pretty good performance. Started out a little bit slow, but it's looking like Philip Nelson is going to be able to take over for Landry Jones if Landry Jones isn't able to go by week 1. I think the Dallas Renegades are going to be in good hands with Philip Nelson, and then once Landry Jones gets back, I'd expect this to be handed back to Landry Jones because this team was truly tailor-built for him. But as I mentioned, Jazz Ferguson with a nice touchdown grab in this one, and then Donald Parham, another player that we've been touting for a while, apparently was uncoverable today, and is just going to be a massive headache for the opposing defenses that he's playing against. Someone that I'm truly excited to draft because there's not many tight ends in the XFL to be excited about, and I think this is one that you truly can. Someone that might fall into like the sleeper category if you're not paying attention, but I draft him early if you can. And then some good defensive plays. They highlighted defensive end Jonathan Calvin, who had an intercepted tip pass early in the third, set up a short field goal. So, lots of good defensive plays on the Dallas side of the ball, which we've expected Dallas to have one of the better defenses in the league as well. So that kind of came through today. Now, jumping over to St. Louis, we've gone back and forth between whether it's going to be Taylor Heineke or Jordan Ta'amu going to be the starter here. Now, Jordan Ta'amu got the nod to start the game, and he played really well. But then Taylor Heineke also came in and played really well too. So unfortunately, we didn't get a lot of clarity as to who the starter will be. But the fact that they started with Jordan Ta'amu and the fact that he delivered might give that slight edge right now, at least in terms of our projections, that Jordan Ta'amu will be the starter. I've highlighted that I think Jordan Ta'amu is the more well-rounded quarterback, especially for the XFL. I think Jordan Ta'amu provides a lot more in terms of rushing capability as well, and he's played with big play receivers, and he has a pretty decent receiver cast in St. Louis. So I think Jordan Ta'amu should win this battle, but we unfortunately didn't get too much clarity today. They also highlighted linebacker Matthew Thomas had a 50-yard pick six, so that's definitely promising. So some good defensive plays on both sides of the ball, but also some really good offensive plays. I really wish they had some more stats for us so we could dig deep into that, but it's probably a good thing because you don't want to pay too much attention to these scrimmage games because, again, they're mostly just trying to help teams determine who's going to start in some of these key pivotal positions, and ultimately who are they going to end up cutting going into Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that. As more news drops, we'll be sure to let you guys know, getting to that final 52 and figuring out who's going to be the most important and fantasy relevant players going into this 2020 season. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next video.